Now, what's the value? What's the purpose of the Kennedy channeling technique? Well, it's a simple trendline technique or tool that I use to aid me in differentiating between corrective wave patterns, corrective structures, and an impulse wave. Now, let me show you just kind of a few introductory slides here, because I want to explain the genesis, where this idea actually came from and began. And I've been using this technique for 20, 25 years now. I developed it back in the 2000 time frame, and it had been after several years of being an Elliottian, counting waves. I started at Elliott Wave International back in 1993, and really by the time, say, 1998, 1999, 2000 came around, I started to have questions and kind of scratch my head about certain situations in a wave count that I felt were not being addressed by, basic or contemporary Elliott Wave, ideas. For example, let's look at this slide right here. What we have a 5-wave rally followed by a 3-wave decline followed by a 5-wave rally. Okay. Now, one way we can look at this interpretation, this price chart, is simply identify this as wave 1 up, wave 2 down, wave 1 up. Okay. There's nothing wrong with this count. Okay. Now, if this is the correct count, what we can look for, what we can expect price-wise, is for prices to come down in red wave 2, and then we would see a very significant advance to the upside in wave 3 of 3. Okay. Totally logical. Well, let's look at it from a different perspective. Okay, here it's the same structure, it's the same slide essentially, but instead of using numbers, I'm using letters. Waves A, B, and C. Okay, well, under this scenario, under this wave count, the next move of consequence, of course, because an ABC is a counter trend move, specifically a zigzag, we can expect the market or that price move to be more than fully retraced. So here's the quandary. Here's the conundrum. Okay. Under this interpretation, I'm exceptionally bullish or exceedingly bullish the market. And under this wave count, using the same price action, and that's the head scratcher. It's the same price action. Well, this actually has me bearish. I'm looking down. Okay, so I needed an answer to this question. I needed something to kind of give me an edge, to help me identify accurately whether or not this is 1-2-1-2 to the upside, or if what I'm looking at is actually ABC and it's going to be more than fully retraced. Hence the birth and the inception of the Kennedy channeling technique. Because after about a 2 or 3 year period where I did some very extensive research, I was going back and looking at hundreds of markets, and I was going back on an intraday basis, and I was going back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, just, for 3 years. That's how I basically spent my life. Looking at price action, studying price charts, and going back and taking a look at what happened, and what resolved. If I was looking at a setup, how did it resolve? If I was looking for, certain price action, what was the ultimate outcome? And what I basically walked away with from all that research, all that time, was this, again, very simple trendline algorithm that allows you to confidently identify Elliott Wave structure. And simply put, the cornerstone principle behind the Kennedy channeling technique is that counter trend price action tends to be contained by parallel lines. Now, is this always going to be the case? And the answer to that is no, because always is a very strong word. Always means always, just that. Now, there have been instances where I've seen this idea not adhered to, but it tends to be the exception and not the rule. 80 to 90% of the time, anytime you're working with a counter trend price move, regardless of whether it's a flat, expanded flat, regular flat, running flat, triangle, what you'll find is that counter trend price action will indeed be contained by parallel lines.